Question 1. Various types of protein are synthesized inside cells. Some proteins, such as digestive enzymes and antibodies, are secreted outside the cells. From 1 to 6 below, choose the combination that correctly identifies the intracellular structure described by each of the following statements, A and B. A. It is the site of protein synthesis inside the cell. B. It is involved in secretion outside the cell. And the answer is 6. Ribosome and B. Golgi body. Ribosome is the site of protein synthesis inside the cell, and Golgi body is involved in secretion outside the cell. Number 2. The life quality of eukaryotic cells, which repeatedly undergo cell division, can be largely divided into interphase, during which changes in chromosomes are not observable with a light microscope, and the mitotic phase, during which changes in chromosomes are observable. The mitotic phase is subdivided into prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. From 1 to 6 below, choose the statement that correctly describes DNA replication and the period of the phases. And the answer is number 5. DNA is replicated during interphase, in which changes in chromosomes are not observable. Interphase usually takes more time to complete than does the mitotic phase. Number 3. In an experiment, samples of feather-forming back skin and scale-forming leg skin were cut away from chicken embryo, and the corium and epidermis of each sample were separated. Next, 4 different combinations of corium and epidermis were cultured, resulting in the formation of feathers or scales, in each case as indicated in the table below. From 1 to 6 below, choose a statement that correctly describes the results. And the answer is 5. The epidermis, which is ectodermic, was induced to differentiate by the corium, which is mesodermic. Number 4. The following feature schematically represents the chromosomal composition of gene arrangement of somatic cells in certain organisms. If the recombination between genes A and B is 20%, what would be the ratio of genetic combinations in gametes produced by this organism? 1 through 6 below, choose the correct answer. And the answer is 3. 4 to 4, 1 to 1, 1 to 1, and 4 to 4. 5. See if I can make this bigger. The concentration ratio of certain substances in the human kidney's urine formation process is expressed as follows. Concentration ratio equals concentration over in urine over concentration in blood plasma. The table below lists the concentration ratio of 5 blood plasma constituents in a healthy human. From 1 to 6 below, choose the combination that correctly indicates the constituent described by each statements A and B below. Looking at blood plasma constituent and concentration ratio. A. It is reabsorbed 100%. B. Its reabsorption rate is nearly the same as that of water. And the answer is 2. Glucose is reabsorbed 100%. And B. Sodium ions its reabsorption rate is nearly the same as that of water. In the following figure, A through D indicate the human organs in which endocrine glands reside. Number 6. In the following figure, A through D indicate the human organs in which endocrine glands reside. Answers indicate 1 through 2 below concerning this. A, B, C, D. Okay, from 1 to 6 below, choose the answer that correctly indicates the pathway by which glucocorticoid secretion is stimulated. And the answer is 5. Hypothalamus goes to A, goes to C. So A is the hypothalamus going to the anterior pituitary gland, which then goes to C, which stimulates the adrenal glands to secrete glucocorticoid. Number 7, from 1 to 5 below, choose the statement that correctly describes the function of glucocorticoid. And the answer is 4. It stimulates the synthesis of glucose from protein. 7. The following figure schematically represents 2 structurally different neurons. Answers 1 and 2 below concerning this. Neuron A and neuron B. The answer is F. F does not readily conduct electricity. That's the axons. They don't conduct electricity. The conduction velocity excitation is greater in neuron B. Why? Because it has the gap junctions. Okay, next. 8, 9, whatever. From 1 to 6, choose below the combination that correctly indicates which parts of C to G in the figure releases or takes up neurotransmitters. So G releases neurotransmitters, and G was those are the dendrites, I think. And C and D, which are that is the cell body, that is what takes up the neurotransmitters. So don't get confused here. The dendrites are what receives the neurotransmitters. The axons are what send it. So know the parts of the neuron. Anyway, the answer for this one is F does not readily conduct electricity. The conduction velocity of excitation is greater than neuron for B. That's the first one. Second one is G releases transmitters, and G looks like the end of the axons. And then C and D take up neurotransmitters, and that's in the cell body and the dendrites. Next, 9. Choose below the combination that correctly indicates which parts. Just did that. Okay, question 8. Immunity can be classified into humoral immunity, which is based on the activity of antibodies, and cellular immunity, in which T cells and other immune cells directly eliminate antigens. From 1 to 6, choose the combination that correctly indicates which type of immunity is described by each of the statements A through D below. And the answer is A and B are humoral immunity, and cellular immunity are C and D. So A and B. A is certain types of pollen can act as antigens that cause allergic reactions, such as watery eyes and a runny nose. That's humoral immunity. And B is also humoral. Serotherapy is a treatment for disease that involves injecting patients with antiserum, which is blood taken from a horse or other animal previously injected with antigens. It is used to treat dogs, among other things, or venomous snake bites. That is also humoral. C and D, when the skin or other tissue from a mouse is transplanted into another mouse, the transplant normally is recognized as foreign material and consequently sloughs off. And D, in a tuberculin reaction, the site where a person was injected with Mycobacterium tuberculosis, protein becomes red or swollen 1 or 2 days later, indicating that the person has previously infected with tuberculosis. That's cellular immunity. 9. From 1 to 6, choose below the statement that does not correctly describe the leaf stomata of such plants as tobacco and lettuce. The answer is 5. Carbon dioxide and nitrogen entering through the stomata are described by the plant, absorbed by the plant, and used for carbon dioxide assimilation and nitrogen assimilation. That answer is wrong. 10. The following experiment was performed to study the relationship between temperature and amount of gas involved in alcoholic fermentation. 100 milliliters of 10% glucose solution was boiled to remove dissolved gases and then was restored to room temperature. Next, 5 grams of dry yeast was added to form a fermentation liqueur. The fermentation liquor was drawn into 6 syringes of equal amounts, and each syringe's liquor was kept at different formation temperature, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70 degrees C. After 10 minutes passed, the volume of gas involved in each syringe was measured. The results are listed below. 1 to 4, choose a statement that correctly describes the experiment. The answer is 3. The amount of gas involved is at 70 degrees C is low because the enzyme involved in the reaction becomes inactivated. The enzyme becomes inactivated. 11. From 1 to 5 below, choose the statement that does not correctly describe photosynthesis or chemosynthesis in bacteria. The answer is 3. Photosynthetic bacteria fix carbon dioxide to release oxygen through photosynthesis. The answer is wrong. From 1 to 4 below, choose the statement that correctly describes semi-conservative DNA replication. The answer is 3. After the 2 strands of double-stranded DNA separate, each serves as a template for the creation of a new nucleotide chain that has a complementary base sequence. 13. The 6th amino acid in the beta chain of normal hemoglobin is glutamic acid. However, in sickle cell anemia, it is substituted with valine. As a result of this difference, erythrocytes become deformed in low oxygen conditions. From 1 to 5, choose a statement that correctly describes this case of amino acid substitution. The answer is 1. The amino acid substitution occurs because part of the DNA sequence, base sequence, is different from the normal base sequence. The answer is number 1. 14. Statements A3 below concern homeotic genes and their function. From 1 to 6 below, choose the combination indicating 2 statements that are correct. The answer is 5, B and D. B. The formation of 2 pairs of wings on the thorax of Drosophila melanogaster is an example of the alteration of homeotic gene. And D. The reason why each segment of an insect body has a distinctive structure is that a specific homeotic gene is expressed for each segment. The following nuclear transplantation experiment was performed using the African clawed frog, Xenus levelis. Referring to the results of the experiment 1 to 4 below, choose the statement that correctly describes cell differentiation in genes. Nuclei were extracted from the cells of embryos at larvae, various different developmental stages, and were transplanted to denucleated unfertilized eggs. The following graph shows for each developmental stage of the donor embryo's larvae the ratio of nuclear transplant embryos that developed into adults to all nuclear transplant embryos that developed to at least the blastula stage. The answer is 4. The nuclei of differentiated cells possess the same gene as fertilized eggs. 16. From 1 to 5, choose below the statement that correctly describes the structure of proteins or the structure of amino acids that form them. The answer is 4. Proteins have a complex 3-dimensional structure resulting from the folding of polypeptides. Proteins that have different amino acid sequences also have different 3-dimensional structures. So that's it for that question set. Goes to question 16, but actually there are 18. Okay, let's look at chemistry from the online version. Question 1. From the gases 1 to 5 below, choose the one that does not contain an unsaturated bond in the molecule. And the answer is methane, or CH4. This does not contain an unsaturated bond in the molecule. All the others do contain unsaturated bonds in the molecule. I guess that means methane all has saturated bonds. It has all saturated bonds. Okay. Question 2. Of the following 5 molecules, how many of them have all component atoms on the same plane? From 1 to 6, choose the correct number below. The answer is 2. So 2 of them have all component atoms on the same plane. I don't know which ones they are, but we know the answer is 2. 3. From 1 to 8, choose the correct combination of true and false statements on the following statements. 1. The mass number of an atom is equal to the sum of the number of protons and that of neutrons in the atomic nucleus. B. The atomic weight of an element is the average value determined from the relative masses of their abundance ratio of component isotopes. C. The mass of 1 mole of carbon atom 12 C of mass number 12 is 12 grams. The answer is 1. True, true, true. Remember, the answer to that is true, true, true. 4. To each of the following aqueous solutions, A and B, 10.6 grams of sodium carbonate NaCO3 is added to the reaction is completed at normal temperature to generate a gas. From 1 to 6, choose below the most appropriate for the relation between VA and VB if the volumes of the generated gases are VA and VB respectively. The answer is 4. VB equals 2VA. 4. VB equals 2VA. That should be easy to remember. Number 4. Suppose the following gases are 1 through 5 are generated in a laboratory. From 1 to 5 below, choose the gas that is most appropriately collected by the downward delivery as shown in Figure 1. The answer is 3. Hydrogen chloride, HCl. Hydrogen chloride, HCl. That's the answer for that. The mass of 22.4 liters of a gaseous mixture of helium, He, and nitrogen, N2, at the standard state was 8.8 grams. Calculate the partial pressure in PA of helium in the gaseous mixture. From 1 to 4 below, choose the closest value. The answer is 4. 8.0 times 10 to the 4th. That's the answer. 7. The heats of formation CH24 and CH6 are 53 kilojoules per mole and 84 kilojoules per mole respectively. From 1 to 6, choose the most appropriate of the heat of reaction Q of the following thermochemical reaction. C2H4 plus CH2 equals C2H2 Q K kilojoules. The answer is 137. Remember, the answer is 137, not minus 137. 8. Suppose the following reaction is at equilibrium state. What effect will be induced on the equilibrium by the procedures A through C respectively? From 1 to 6 below, choose the most appropriate combination. 2 carbon dioxide plus oxygen equals 2 CO2 plus 566 kilojoules. A. Carbon monoxide is added while the temperature is kept constant. B. The pressure is raised while the temperature is kept constant. C. The temperature is raised while the pressure is kept constant. The answer is 5. Shift to the right, shift to the right, shift to the left. Once again, shift to the right, shift to the right, shift to the left. Number 9. Of the substances A through D involved in the following reaction, which ones act as bases? From 1 to 4 below, choose the correct combination. H2OB, SO4, they're both next to each other. The answer is B and C, the ones in the middle. H2OB, SO4, 2, B and C. Water was electrolyzed with the experiment shown in following figure. From 1 to 4 below, choose the correct one for the statement on the volume of hydrogen at the standard state generated by this experiment. Assume that the amount of applied electricity is equal for all experiments. This one goes to a direct current source. This is platinum. These are platinum electrodes. Aqueous solution hydroxide, NaOH. The answer is 2. If the aqueous sodium hydroxide is replaced with aqueous sodium chloride, the volume of the hydrogen generated does not change. Remember that, it does not change. From 1 to 8 below, choose the correct one as the combination of true and false judgments on the following statements concerning acids and bases. A. At the end point of all neutralization reactions, the pH is 7. If 0.001 mole aqueous hydrochloric acid is diluted 100 times with water, pH of the resulting solution is 5. The aqueous sodium hydroxide with pH 12 is diluted 100 times with water. The pH of the resulting solution is 10. The answer is 4. False, true, true. False, true, true. False, true, true. Which substance, A or B, acts as an oxidizing agent in the following reactions A through C? 1 through 6. Below, choose the correct combination. The answer is 4. BAA. Bah. BAA. Bah. From 1 to 6, please choose the appropriate combination of gases CO2, HCl, H2S, each of which is compatible with which of the following statements. A. It is slightly soluble in water. The solution is weakly acidic. It forms a white fume and reacted with ammonia. It burns in air. When the resulting gas is introduced in lime water, the water becomes cloudy. The answer is 3. H2S, HCl, and CO. What's H2C? H2S, hydrochloric acid, carbon monoxide. What's that, hydrogen peroxide? I forgot. 14. For the statements 1 to 5 below concerning both metallic sodium and metallic potassium, choose the one that is not correct. 2. The answer is 2. They are very reactive and exhibit a strong oxidizing action. They are very reactive and exhibit a strong oxidizing reaction. That's wrong. 15. From an aqueous solution containing metallic ions, cupric, I don't know, Fe, Pb, and Zn, metallic ions are separated as it precipitates by the producers shown below in the figure. From 1 to 5 below, choose the most appropriate combination of metallic ions that are mainly contained in each precipitate. So the answer is number 1, Pb, Cu, and Fe. Pb, Cu, and Fe. 16. The equal masses of methane and methanol are completely combusted, respectively. Comparisons are made with regard to the amount of oxygen necessary and the amount of carbon dioxide generated. From 1 to 6 below, choose the combination of correct ones out of the statements. The answer is B and E, the last one. B. The mass of oxygen necessary for the reaction is more for methane. C. The mass of carbon dioxide generated by the reaction from methane is twice of that from methanol. So B and E. B. The mass of oxygen necessary for the reaction is more for methane. And E. The mass of carbon dioxide generated from the action from methane is twice that of methanol. Of the following compounds, A through D, how many of them have structural isomers? From 1 to 4, chose the correct number. 3. 3 of these, acetic acid, ethyl alcohol, propane, acetone, 3 of them have structural isomers. Of the compounds having a double bond and with the molecular formula C5H10, how many of them have cis-trans isomers? From 1 to 5, choose the correct number. The answer is 1. Only 1 does. And number 19, when acetanilide is heated in an aqueous solution acidified with hydrochloric acid, hydrolysis takes place. From 1 to 6 below, choose the most appropriate combination of A and B as the products of this reaction. The answer is 6. CH3COOH, aniline hydrochloride. The one at the bottom, CH3, Cu, aniline chloride. 20. Suppose there is a solution of benzoic acid, aniline, and phenol dissolved in diethyl ether. Which compound is extracted from the ethyl layer to the aqueous layer when the following solutions A or B is added to either solution and vigorously shaken? From 1 to 6 below, the appropriate combination of extracted compounds. A. Dilute hydrochloric acid. B. Aqueous sodium hydrogen carbonate. And the answer is 3. Aniline and benzoic acid. Aniline and benzoic acid. So that's it for that section. Okay, let's look at the math. Question 1. Consider the equation x minus 1 squared equals 3x minus 5. 1. All the solutions of equation 1, the solutions satisfying x is greater than or equal to 5 over 3, are x equals 2 and x equals 3, where a is less than b. Equation 1 has a total of 4 solutions. When the minimum one is denoted by alpha, the integer m satisfying m minus 1 is less than alpha is less than or equal to m is negative 2. 2. Consider the following 3 conditions a, b, and c on 2 real numbers x and y. A. X plus y equals 5 and xy equals 3. B. X plus y equals 5 and x squared plus y squared is 19. C. X squared plus y squared equals 19 and xy equals 3. 1. Using the equality x squared plus y squared equals x plus y squared minus 2xy, we see that condition B gives xy equals g, which is 3. Condition C gives x plus y equals 5, or x plus y equals minus 5. For each of the following, choose the most appropriate answer from among the choices below. 1. A is 0 for B. B is 1 for C. C is 2 for A. So A is necessary and sufficient condition. 1 a sufficient condition but not a necessary condition. 2 a necessary condition but not a sufficient condition. 3 neither a necessary condition nor a sufficient condition. So it's 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. So this one is 2, 3, 5, negative 5, 0, 1, 2. 2. Using the 5 numerals 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we are able to make 4-digit numbers. Notice that 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. are not allowed. The total possible number of integers where the digits are all different numbers, numerals, is 9, 6. Among them, the total number of integers that do not use 0 is 2, 4. If we're allowed to use the same numeral repeatedly, then the total possible number of 4-digit numbers is 500, 500 among them. The total number of integers that use 1 and 3 twice is 6. The total number of integers that use 0 and 4 twice is 3. 3 is half of 6. The total number of integers that use both of 2 numerals twice is 48 or 48. As shown in the figure, a triangle ABD is inscribed in a semicircle with a diameter BC, where AB equals 3, BD equals 5. Tangent of the angle ABD is 3/4. We are to find the lengths of the 3 sides BC, CD, and DA of the quadrangle ABCD and the area S of the quadrangle ABCD. First, since cosine of the angle ABD is 4/5, we have DA is the square root of 10 over square root of 10. Also, since sine of the angle ABD is 3/5, we have BC is equal to 5 square root of 10 over 3. CD 5/3. From these 53 Herbie, from these we obtain S equals 26 over 3. Consider the following quadratic equations in x. X squared plus 2x minus 15 equals 0. 2x squared plus 3x plus a squared plus 12a equals 0. Let us denote the 2 solutions of 1 by a and beta. A is less than beta. We are to find the range of values which alpha in 2 can take in order that 2 has 2 real solutions, gamma and theta, and they satisfy alpha is less than theta is less than beta is less than... Got confused. 1. Alpha is negative 5 and beta is 3. 53 comes up again. This time is negative. When we set b equals a squared plus 12a from the condition alpha is greater than gamma, we have, and from the condition alpha is beta, we have negative 35. B is less greater than negative 35. Hence, the range of the values which alpha can take is negative 27, where jk is less than NO. So we have -9, -7, -5, -3. I'm going to create on this test. Let x and y and z satisfy the following conditions. X plus y minus z equals 0. 2x plus minus y plus 1 equals 0. We got to find the values of a, b, and c such that the equation ax squared plus by squared and plus cz squared equals 1 holds for all x, y, and z satisfying 1 and 2. First, given 1 and 2, we may express y and z in terms of x as y equals 2, x plus 1, z equals 3, x plus 1. For this shows that the values of both y and z depend on the value of x. Next, when 4 is substituted into 3 and the left side is arranged in descending order of powers of x, we obtain x plus 4b plus 9c times x squared plus 4b plus 3c x plus b plus 1 equals 3. Since the equation holds for any x, it also holds when x equals 0, x minus 1, and x minus equals -1. Are substituted into it, from which we obtain a plus 9b, 1j, b plus c, 1, 1, 1, 1, 6, a plus b plus 4 equals 1. When we regard these simultaneous equations and solve them for a and b, we have a equals b, a equals 6, b equals 3, c equals -2. And there you have it.